Amsterdam is located in a country called the Netherlands. It's a rather large city with a population of just over 801,000 people. Amsterdam is famous for their stupid-looking wooden clocks, which are somehow useful on cobblestone streets. Also famous for their cheese, which smells like absolute and utter shit. Flast Stanley was so goddamn excited to get there, little bastard took 5 Xanax on the way over just to make it. Once he got there, he started taking in some local sights, looking at houses on the river and shit. Got to look at some cool goddamn bridges and some tall-ass buildings in this wonderful city of Amsterdam. He soon took in some local pastimes like drinking beer. But, Flast Stanley, well, he took a little too much to the pastime and had himself a rough night. In fact, the night was so goddamn rough, little bastard ended up in the hospital with alcohol poisoning. But once Flast Stanley was feeling better, he got himself on a train and started going out to see some more sights. Right here you can see some more houses on the water that Flast Stanley got to see while he was in Amsterdam. After that he got a little thirsty, so he walked inside a coffee shop, thinking he would find decaf, Colombian, and all sorts of assorted pastries, cookies, and all kinds of delicious goodies. But inside this coffee shop, he found himself one hell of an interesting and unique menu. Had all kinds of things in this menu, with lollipops and sodas and all kinds of green goodies and all different kinds of coffee shops he was able to find with this magic green stuff that Flast Stanley kept smoking and eating. And boy, oh boy, when Flast Stanley would smoke this sweet, sweet Chiba, he got to see some really, really cool shit. Like these houses got all wackified and ended up looking real fucking strange. And you never know when you on the sweet Chiba who you might run into, like all kinds of famous celebrities that just spend all kinds of time in the lovely place of Amsterdam. Now that night, Flast Stanley decided to hit the town and came across a section known as the Red Light District. Can you say Red Light District, children? Oh boy, this Red Light District had all kinds of interesting girls that did all kinds of interesting things, but they weren't all classy. As a matter of fact, some of these girls in the Red Light District reminded him of these prostitutes from back home in America. But Flast Stanley came to party, so it didn't stop him from grabbing the sweetest place up in the joint and going to town and rocking Grandma's World for several hours and only a few shillings. Now after that, Flast Stanley got up early in the morning and took in the town. But before too long, he ended up back in the hospital for what the doctors would tell him would be the worst, most fucked up case of oral gonorrhea he ever had seen. He said, "You shouldn't be hitting it with no dime store prostitutes." So Flast Stanley hopped a native plane and flied his ass on back to the United States. But trouble found Flast Stanley once he hit to the airport because he smuggled a bunch of drugs back in his asshole. So Flast Stanley wound up in the goddamn clink in Florida of all places. Now remember kids, you never know who you might run into when you go to Amsterdam and drink a lot of beers and use a whole lot of drugs.